I just want to say hello to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for gathering with me today. I'm so grateful to those of you who are showing your faces, as I always love for there to be somewhere for me to be in my love too. Though everybody else who isn't, it's still coming at you, I promise. I'm so excited to be launching into this experience called the mirror dimension. I'm not sure if some of you have gathered with me in other classes or been on the experience of reading your reality, but it has been the most magnificent discoveries as of late. I feel that in the past few weeks, even the past few months, the simplicity of mastering this experience has just become more and more obvious. As some of you know, I went to Egypt recently and had some deep ancient epiphanies about the way that this game called life is designed. And while it can be both frustrating in its challenges, I just want to start by complimenting each of you for choosing to come into this adventure, because it's a testament to your soul's belief in its ability as a creator. So I want to give you that compliment deeply and from the bottom of my heart. Recently, I saw a beautiful channeled post from one of my favorite channels, Bashar. And, somebody in the audience said, so what is it like when, spirits from other places in the galaxy come and talk to us? Are we like kindergartners to you? And it was so beautiful because Bashar mentioned that from the perspective of other beings having other experiences in other parts of the galaxy, to imagine coming to a place that is so built in with so much forgetting, as well as so many challenges and limitations in the way to the divine remembering of our natural abilities as creators. He says, this is actually, we see you as the graduating master class, the graduating class of divine creators, because we chose to come here despite that. And to be able to work against those challenges and reunite ourselves with our abilities as creators is something to be celebrated. So that is why I am here. My heart has been charged with walking into a duel with the negative beliefs, the obstacles in the way, and the limitations, to help you disarm them and get out of your way and cease the impeding from you living in heaven on earth. It's probably the most simplest way that I can sum it up, okay? And I have had some of the most incredible leaders and teachers coming forward, and it's almost like soul show and tell, okay? A soul comes to hang out in my reading reality perspective, and it's almost like higher self is like, hey, can you just help them see this thing that's gumming up the gears? Like, would it be all right if you just like shine a little bit of light there so that they can become aware of it and move it out of the way? And the obviousness is just increasing to such a degree that I truly and sincerely believe that this space of gathering together to do it on the regular will make each and every one of us here automatic manifester, creator gods embodied, simply for the reason that we will, with joy, peace, objectivity, and ease, confront the beliefs that are standing in the way, learn the mastery of reading the subtle cues instead of needing to go down challenge after challenge, trauma after trauma, to get to an awareness of something that's just simply talking to you, okay? That everything comes in on a spectrum. The spectrum is as simple as your reality speaking to you, all the way to traumatizing experience, calamity. On that spectrum, they are both still the first stage of alchemy, which is purification by fire. This is something that I like to reference a lot. Some of you might have taken my class on alchemy, the 7 stages, and utilizing them as a framework in our experience is going to be something that continues to come up in the mirror dimension. But today, I just want to create some simplicity for us to kind of go through an introduction of some of the things that you might anticipate this process might bring light to, how it works, what it would feel like, the benefits of kind of embarking on this journey. And I can promise you from my life experience and the reflections of people that I have gotten the honor to witness going from stumbling through their life to walking creator gods without limitation, right? How can I not be just elated and dripping with joy to bring this experience forward? There's just no way around it. Okay. This is my waking paradise to be excited about sharing this, as I feel so grateful for having the honor to have gotten the chance to witness it over and over again in my life, in the lives of my close friends, in the lives of leaders, and the lives of people like yourselves. So this is really just me off-gassing my joy with you all, to be honored to get to do this with you. So I'm going to jump into a few slides. Really, I don't want to dive into the meat and potatoes today because I don't want to overwhelm everybody. I just want to kind of give some basic tidbits of where we're going to be journeying, some of the things that come into the play of becoming aware of yourself as a creator in this reality. And then at the end of class, I'd love to workshop some things that you're working on in your life right now. So anything you're trying to create, anything you might feel blocked from receiving, anything that is just a little bit outside of comprehension for you, we are going to workshop it together, because this is probably what I believe is the most magnificent benefit to doing it in this way. Is even if somebody's having an experience that you haven't directly experienced firsthand, it's going to have insight and parallels to your own experience. And the reason why I'm so elated to share it in this fashion is because the past year has been thousands upon thousands upon thousands of opportunities that I got to share sessions with people into coming into awareness of a block and moving it with them. And what I just saw was the degree of compression from which I was seeing block, release, block, release, block, release, block, release. It just increased my ability to realize what it was before it had to get into a place of being more difficult, more complex, more crazy. Everything is now can come very subtly, very gently, and quite obviously now that I have decided to be in a state of curiosity with what each and every experience that we are within is trying to say. So let me share my screen here. Just a moment. All right. And I want to make sure not to lose my chat because I love you all so much. Beautiful. Okay. All right. So as you guys have come aware, my name is Alana. Some of you I have gotten to work with before. Some of you I know from my personal life. Some of you are new. Some of you might know me from dream porting. Others might be working with me in my beautiful home called Akiata. But yeah, I have been on the guide journey as a walk-in here on Earth for about 15 years now. Some of you have heard my walk-in story, some of you may have not, but I think that we've already covered the base of why I am here doing this. It is simply for the passion of witnessing you step into being your creator God. So let's start with reality. Reality is attempting to teach us in every moment that you are its creator. When you start to listen to the beauty of that message with an open and trusting heart, it is rapture. Okay. Most of the time, we don't capture the rapture because we are running in a thought of the future and an analysis of something of the past, and we just get lost in a mind maze that doesn't allow us to see the majesty, okay? But the creation that we are making with our hearts and our souls as an all-one creator God is God snapping, okay? I can't even. And it's also indicating to us that it is your birthright to bask in that paradise. Now, sometimes reality doesn't feel like paradise. In the times that are not paradise, your soul is just simply bringing forward something that's blocking up the gears. Okay. The paradise is as realized as the belief that is creating it. If there are underlying beliefs that are not allowing it to realize as pure paradise, those beliefs will create obstacles and challenges just simply to reveal to you what the subconscious is up to. All experiences hold gifts to your reality. It doesn't matter what it is. I can remember a story that I've shared multiple times in class where my life was being threatened. I was confronted in a violent way at a gas station. And that was the moment that I got to show myself that I was pure love and compassion in the face of hatred. And it was one of the most profound moments of my life. Okay. You would not think that getting threatened to be, brutally and violently hurt would be something to be celebrated, but it was. It was probably one of the most profound gifts to my reality. Okay. And I'll probably share that story on a few occasions just to talk about some of the majesty that was imbibed in that. So you can experience a life free from struggle. You just can. I know it sounds unfathomable to some, and in some ways, in the time of struggle might be the last thing that you can believe, but it is absolutely your birthright. And as the struggles continue to teach you their purpose and their meaning, you simply can attune to an experience that doesn't have any necessity of struggle any longer. You have to start to identify that struggle is just simply not a necessary part of your reality. And the time that you have to be an expression of that is in the last time that you choose to experience a struggle. We'll get into that. Everyone is the mirror of your internal beliefs. Now, this can be really wild thought to contemplate because everybody feels like another, somebody else, right? Whatever they do, whatever they say, whatever they believe is only going to be met in your reality by your bias. Period. So I could come up to you and with all of my heart, I could tell you that I love you beyond a shadow of a doubt. And if you have self-rejection, you will not hear what I'm saying as true. You just won't, right? It doesn't matter how deeply I try to show you, it will be filtered by your beliefs, right? And so this is so beautiful because this is an illuminator to everybody else in the experience. It doesn't matter who you are, as a gift to illuminating your beliefs. It doesn't matter what they're doing. It doesn't matter what they're saying. Everybody in your reality is in service to your reality, period. The true state of joy is always waiting for you. This is the default mode. Peace, joy, ease. It's looking for you. And it's looking for you in every moment by seeking to remind you of anything that is impeding you from having it. Everything is in the present moment. And that joy is in all experiences. There's joy in the worst experience. As I told you, when I was being threatened, there was joy in that moment because I was getting the opportunity to show myself that I had no fear, right? There was joy in that moment. You are an infinite flow of gifts and creativity. This is the real reason why we're here. We're not here to live a life of challenges. We're here to live a life of creativity. Creation is creativity. It wants to be realizing itself as new in every moment through your unique life, your unique passions, your unique eyes, your unique hands, your unique play. You are an infinite flow of gifts and creativity. This is what really wants to be born through us every day. And you're seeking yourself always and in everything. Everything is a mirror of that seeking. Everything's a mirror of that seeking. And that is even where the challenges come in. Even the challenges are a mirror of you seeking yourself and to realize yourself. So why pursue this practice? Why pursue the practice of reading your reality, listening to reality, any of it? Because when we are out of awareness, we are a victim to reality. If we're not bringing it into awareness here, we're letting the defaults get populated and run by our subconscious beliefs. And that can lead to us living in one of these 4 archetypes. The first one is the toughest one. I feel like we all kind of get through this gear at some point where we are the victim. Life is happening to us. We have no control. And we cry and shake our fists to the sky and we say, why is this happening to me? Even though at the same time we're saying, just trust the process, keep going.
Alana, we can't hear you.
How about now? You guys can hear me now? Yes. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. You know, the universe is talking with us and sending some curveballs, but we love it anyway. So thank you so much. That was like, you know why that was extra magnificent? I just want to share with you guys this magic here. I was talking away, and for no particular reason, I was like, hey, I still can't see my chat window in this moment. And I'm like, I think in this second right now, I would like to turn on my chat window. And that was immediately when the first person messaged that the sound was missing. So I don't even know. That is just magical, beyond magic. Okay. So I'm going to get back in here. Thank you so much for all being such a great team, helping out. I'm going to keep my chat here though. All right. Amazing. Beautiful. So, yeah, we're talking about moving for the manifester. Life is happening for. I love that there was this beautiful, cute, unique demonstration here. Like, hey, intuition brought me to solve a problem before it turned into a big problem. Imagine hours and hours of me talking, and I didn't realize that you guys couldn't hear me at all. And then there's the creator energy. When you get into this practice, and I'm speaking from my own experience here, okay? I'm not elaborating, I'm not making anything that it's not, but it can feel in real time as though the world is moving for you. You are calling things towards you. You are weeping for the majesty and the beauty of every moment. You can see everybody's inner child speaking. You can see the reasons why challenges are occurring. This is the role of the creator, and it is magnificent. It is worth every challenge. Every challenge, okay? If the game of life was set for the challenges to result in this, yes, I would say yes. Sign me up. I'm doing the game of life. Yes. So what is this process? Okay, there's a very simple process, and I like to just break it down to these 3 stages because it can, as I share about reading and listening to signs and separation and mirrors and all the things, it can sound really confusing, right? But it basically comes down to 3 stages. The elimination of obstacles, limitations, and beliefs that do not serve you, okay? I might enjoy this part of the process more than I should. I was on a live on TikTok for most of the morning, and TikTok is really like a hard audience because you'll get everybody under the sun dropping in with you, right? And it's not like a welcome audience always, so you have to be like ready to play, right? And most of the time people will come with the obstacle that they want to punch you in the face with, right? And so this is where I love the irony, because every time they do, I simply unpack it with love and compassion, and it's miraculous. I'll get thrown curveballs just about under everything, okay? I'm not this, and you can't tell me this is true because of that. And then I'll just be like, oh, it looks like this belief is coming forward to, and then they'll be like, OMG, you're right. I've been sabotaging myself this whole time. And like, it'll be a big confessional. It's amazing. It's not easy, but it's amazing. And that leads to the illumination. Okay. So as I said, even in the most difficult of audiences, the illumination can occur. It's when you're witnessing, okay, I became aware of the saboteur, what the saboteur was trying to say, but that saboteur was trying to show me who I really desire to become, to be, and to express. And I need to move that belief so I can activate my senses to affirm 2 affirmations. So this is where hide and go seek comes into play. I'm not sure if any of you have seen my class on hide and go seek, but creation, God, the divine is here in us and with us in all moments, and is often playing a game of forgetting and remembering. the ultimate game of hide and go seek. And as you walk in illuminating who it is that you truly desire to become, you start to have the aha epiphany of discovery of the hide and go seek. And that's where you get to be an illustration of where you're using your magic to live in your highest embodiments. And this is as simple as playing dress up, okay? There is the reason why I bring forward all of these childlike games like hide and go seek and dress up is because kids already know the rules of the game of life when they come to play here. And we forget them over time, and we complexify them with seriousness and logic and all these other practices that ego likes to kind of play games with us about, but it's really can become as simple as playing dress up, as the I am that I am is what defines reality. And we'll get more into that. So exploring life is insight. This is one of my deepest beliefs. Life should be unimpeded at all times. And there's one exception. And that exception is if you're intending to do harm to another. There will be something that impedes that. And that is just simply because that is not the true nature of the divine, right? But aside from that, if you are living your life and you hit something that impedes you from following your highest joy, it is serving your experience to discover yourself in limitlessness. And so here's a basic framework of how to evaluate any moment where you might be impeded and how to proceed. First is use your intuition and inner compass at all times. Logic is your enemy. That's the last item here, but I'm going to jump to it. Logic is your enemy. When your mind is using logic, it's playing tricks on you in behalf of your limiting belief. 100%. I oftentimes will have conversations about the logic enemy at length, because the logic enemy will try to defend itself with logic. And you can always play yourself out of the logic matrix as it's only something that exists in relation to fear. Practice the mindset of the observer. Any situation that you are in that you don't understand, you don't feel like you created, that you are a victim to, get into that observer mindset. Okay, I'm going to pause in the present moment. What are some things that I can witness right now that could be creating this belief, right? It could be an old belief. It could be a pattern. It could be an adopted belief from a family member. It could come from society. Just notice, witness, okay? Watch and make room to witness these biases. Just make room. Sometimes just making space between us and the belief that we are experiencing in that moment can stop something from perpetuating, right? So let's say I run out of money and the bill comes in the mail and I make a comment like, I'm never going to be able to figure this out. Okay, I'm going to take some space. I'm going to observe that belief. I'm going to start to evaluate where that reaction came from. Okay, that's something my mom used to say all the time. That's something my partner always believes. This is something that, but then you can zoom out even further and go, actually, I figured this one out before. I've actually been provided for regardless of the challenge. All these other beliefs will have the opportunity to arrive should you make space for them. And seek when your active belief is contrast to the limiting belief. So this is as simple as that, right? You identify the limiting belief. The limiting belief is, I will not be able to pay this bill and I'll be stuck. Okay. You separate yourself from the belief. You say the active belief is, actually, I believe I'm always provided for by the divine. Why am I reacting like the old way when I'm trying to come into realization of this new belief I'm trying to activate? Oh, I went backwards. So here are some examples of stuff that can result from this practice, and many practices like this. Okay, I'm going to tell you more in the end of where all of these practices have derived from. There's a lot of sources of this practice. Freedom from suffering. I have a breakdown of all of these, and I want us to touch on a few. So I'd like for you guys to look at this list here as I read it and pick something that feels like something you'd like to unpack together. Experience freedom from suffering, a dissolution of negative frequencies, ending of stress, overwork, frenzy. This is one I hear people desiring a lot. Prosperity, the conclusion of lack programs, having conscious relationships, conscious communication with your partners, your family, strangers. You can experience freedom from the illusion. You can discover what it feels like to be an expression of all of you. You can clear ancestral blocks. This is a funny one. People think ancestral blocks means that you have to go into them and move them. No, you can dismantle them without going inside. Release of limiting beliefs, as I said, is a key piece of this. Realization of oneself as a creator. Clearing personal karma. This is a powerful one. This is so magnificent. Again, personal karma can hold an assumed belief that you have to and are subjected to the constraints of that personal karma for as long as you work it out. It's not true. The personal karma is a part of our chosen coded matrix in order for us to realize a particular gift of our soul. So when you realize the purpose of personal karma, you meet personal karma with joy, because it's almost like the mailman coming to give you a package. Oh, this personal karma that somehow I feel deeply affected by is actually coming to show me this X, Y, or Z. And now that I know that this is what it's bringing me in realization to, this is how I can transmute the karma and choose a new reality. It's a game of choose your own adventure. Okay. Manifestation is automatic. Okay. Most people who talk about manifestation talk about putting out the message of what you want. They don't talk about how to listen to how it's arriving. This is what the other side of manifesting is, reading your reality, because reality is a conversation. It's not a one-way street. We don't just command it to be. We command it to be. It creates it in realization of our conscious and subconscious beliefs. It returns it in light of that to check for understanding, so we can resolve any discrepancies and send the code out again. This is how it works. So how to create ease in any obstacle. Obstacles are the best parts of excavating stuff in the way from being in infinite play in your life. Mastery of time is, something that you wouldn't think that you could have here in this three-dimensionally focused place. Time is probably one of the most poetic orchestrations that you get to play with inside of this experience. And when you start to realize that it is your clay, you can make a magnificent orchestration. And then the end of searching, an embodiment of pure knowing. When you get into this perspective, there's no wondering. It's awe all the time. Awe. all the time. So Rosanna asked about the ancestral blocks or personal karma. I did drop into that for a moment. Ancestral blocks and personal karma are our gifts to ourselves and to our ancestors, okay? Ancestors carried a belief over and over and over again. They pass that belief and that block down to you. And this is the honor of you shifting the paradigm, returning the insight to them, and gifting the privilege of your awareness back 7 generations. This is probably one of the most magnificent things to talk about, which I'll go into at length in the mirror dimension, because I know ancestral karma and personal karma are going to come up a lot. But when we have an epiphany in our life and we feel the connection, we sense the connection to our ancestors, our parents, our siblings, or even our soul in past lives, okay? When we have that epiphany, it's like show and tell. It's one of the greatest, most beautiful opportunities. Dear ancestors or past self, I have realized the purpose of this experience. Let me show you what it was all about. You show and tell that to your 7 generations that preceded you. They benefit from the realization of your shift and your insights. And you recode all of the lives as though they lived it without that experience. And you start your experience free from that block. It's magnificent. So, huge focus of this practice is when you show your relatives, your ancestors, what you have discovered and cleared within yourself, you have to imagine the degree to which you can instantly quantum leap into a new reality, because you have moved 7 generations of people's lives that were affected by that block into being not affected by that block, because time changes backwards and forwards at the same time. And so if they all live that life, now that you have given them a release from that block, you are now going to be living a life attuned to the benefit of all of those lifetimes, not having that block, including jumping into a timeline where you no longer hold that block. It's magnificent. Yeah, prosperity. It's a common one. This is probably entry level energetics. Prosperity is probably one of the most beautiful entry points into clearing blocks and beliefs, because it's just so embedded in our societal construction. It kind of works itself everywhere all the time. It's something that we probably think about the most. It's something that we probably feel most affected by. Prosperity is a really unique relationship, as it's one of our closest lovers, being with how much time we're either hanging out with or without it, right? And so it's talking to us the most. Prosperity or lack is probably one of the most talkative energies on the planet, and there's a very good reason why. It is a realization of the unconditional love from Mother Earth. She always intended us to have everything that we've ever needed. And we forgot, so much so that all the representations that exist in light of her love are manipulated and controlled with beliefs that withhold people from having it, period. So in practice, the prosperity excavation of societal beliefs and manipulation can be exhausting, but it's also a magnificent gift to move once and for all. Done. When you really move past it, you are not affected by it anymore. And it takes a defiance of a lot of dumb codes that fly around and we throw at each other regularly to keep each other believing in the same matrix that does or doesn't exist to affect us. So automatic manifestation is when you've shortened the gap. Okay, you've shortened the gap between the lesson and the epiphany and the creation. Okay, in life, there's lessons, epiphanies, and creations. They're all a part of the same process to remind us that we are automatically, beyond a shadow of a doubt, creating our reality in all moments, whether we are aware of it or not. So automatic manifestation comes into being the new normal when you close the gap and you bring those experiences together into aware creation of your reality, period. Most of the time we're in non-aware creation of our reality. This process, these practices are an invitation to become in awareness. In awareness. That's it. That's what each and every one of these tendrils is designed to do. All of these examples of that which we're supposed to transcend were designed to bring us into awareness as the creator. They're all designed to remind us that. And thus, that's why they exist. So let's get into some cheat codes. The first one is to know thyself, okay? Bringing love into the self that you are and the self that you are learning and the self that you know is the life purpose of every being, okay? The divine is an infinite source energy that cannot know itself because it's everything. And as an act of love, it divided itself into billions upon billions upon billions of conscious beings in order to know thyself. This is the purpose of life. That's it. You are that emanation of the divine. Your life is about learning to be, love, and realize the unique being that you are. It's that. That's the whole thing. And you incarnated to be the love story to the divine. The divine chose to be you exactly as you are, no difference. With all of your good stuff and all the bad, it absolutely picked you to be you and only you. So get to know you. Because when you get to know you, you're saying, I love this me that you chose to be as I love you. It can only know itself through you, period. That's it. Perspective is everything. Outlook defines the outcome, always. Now, while it might not be so easy to decide the outlook when the emotions are flowing, this is part of what we learn to master. This is part of what we learn to move. Emotions are energy in motion, and they're beautiful. They're magnificent excavators. They have a great purpose, but you cannot allow the emotions to decide the outlook because that will define the outcome. And so this practice is a part of practicing how to allow outlook to transcend emotions to decide a better outcome, because your perspective is everything. Perspective is AKA another name for belief, right? But a belief or a perspective is kind of a facet of a belief that's serving us in that moment, that something's being decided. And this one is probably the most important of them all. Number 3, life is a game. Every moment that we are remembering that is heaven on earth. To have the ability to bask and play in childlike wonder at all times is winning the game. That's winning the game. You've mastered the codes, you have escaped the matrix, and you are now a creator God embodied, okay? There are no points for seriousness. Seriousness is this weird entity that like follows us around and convinces us that it will give you extra points in the game, but it won't. It just makes things muckier as you're struggling in the mud. when you learn number 4, that life is a program, I like to call it an operating system, things get very simple, I guess you could say. Like you are writing your own fantasy novel, right? It's meant to be coded. It's meant to improve itself. It's meant to be coded by you, okay? It's a prompt. You know, in the 80s when you turn the computer on and there was just this flashing like slash, it was telling me like, make something, like tell me to do something. Just, I'm waiting for you to just fill this blank with something of your desire. This is life, okay? This is life. Life is this same prompt energy just waiting for us. And we're the only occupant of our reality. So this one is very powerful because if it's all for you, who else is there to believe or do anything on behalf of? When we realize it's for ourselves first, we get to fill ourselves with love, we get to overflow our cup with joy and prosperity, and then we get to have even more when we share it to somebody else, as they are also affording us the opportunity to bask more in the joy and generosity that we are choosing to be. Knowing that we're the only one here can be both liberating or lonely, but it's not really lonely when you realize that everybody else is also you as them for a short time. And then you can learn how to unite with all creation, because when we're together and we're witnessing each other in unconditional love, we know true liberation. And this is where there's no victims. Experiencing victimhood is a reminder to get coding in your reality. Change a circumstance, change a belief, withdraw yourself from a difficult situation. Change where you're living, change how you're spending your time, change what kind of food you put in your body. Victimhood is when the code has gotten to a place where it's really trying to capture your attention, but you're not meant to stay there. There's no staying necessary. It's just a reminder. So who wants to workshop with me, us? I would love to bring forward something somebody's creating, something somebody's stuck on,